Hello. Welcome to another day in your beautiful life. We are having a lunar eclipse today, the first eclipse of this next window of eclipses that is, for me personally, feeling like more potent and perceptible than it's ever been. Life has been initiating me on a profound level, and those people around me that I'm talking with around it, same thing. um, we're being shaken up so that we can wake up. So I want to talk about the eclipse themes today, specifically today the lunar eclipse, the full moon in Aquarius, sun in Leo in the 7th gene key, moon opposed it in the 13th gene key, that moves from the shadow of discord to the gift of discernment and the city of empathy. And this gene key, along with the 7th gene key where the sun is, so this programming partner axis polarity, is playing a very potent role in the whole eclipse themes, right? It's the first eclipse of this next big window. And of course, this solar eclipse being the great American eclipse, the one that is being fully visible across the band of the United States. And you can feel the sort of turmoil in our culture that's saying, oh my gosh, there is something shaking, there's some change occurring. Eclipses always tend to bring a lot of change. One thing that they also do is they amplify our thoughts and our actions by, they say that the ancients say in the lunar eclipse by 1,000 and the solar eclipse by 10,000. So during these times, which there's like an orb of a few days around the eclipses, it's time to be impeccable. It's time to really align to the frequency that we're drawing in. No pressure. It's okay. We're human. Just course correct with gentleness. Show the universe and model for the people around you how to be forgiving, how to be a smooth navigator. So yeah, it's bumpy. It's like we're not gonna be just perfect. So forgive yourself for like making mistakes. Don't get like afraid of that, but just bring in a strong signal of love during these times and really connect to the higher harmony of your ideal. So real quick, just wanting to, what is the 13-7 and how is that those archetypes playing a role right now? First thing that jumps out to me is that this axis is one that the gene key speaks to, and Richard talks about being this kind of like the trajectory of human destiny. I mean, what more potent of an eclipse around this time could it be? In this time of change, the 13, where the moon is all about where we've come from, being able to learn from our past, to digest it. And then the 7 is the where we're headed and aiming our trajectory of future evolutionary current into the now. So there's a meeting place of our human destiny, and it holds like a huge weight in terms of the direction that we will go. So the massive influence of this eclipse window, of these eclipses, aligned with the significance of the current course of change. We are the creators of this. It's time to recognize just how real that is. We are the creators of this. So what the shadow of discord in the moon is showing us is this dilemma and pattern of pessimism. And it's any place that reaches inside of your mind when you talk about the higher ideal, when you see the vision of humanity and what we can be and the culture that we're creating, that little voice that comes in and says, that's not possible. That's not going to happen. We're doomed. Look at, we're way outnumbered. You know, all the facts and things that the mind can start to say to take us out of the true course of where we as creators are like aligning our human destiny with. So Be very aware of where you feel disbelief or any sense of powerlessness, indifference, and inability to really tune in to the magic that's alive. You like where you don't believe like, oh, magic is just for kids, right? That Richard talks about that in the audio. Like, oh, this is the real world. None of that. We gotta like bring in what we're truly tuning into as true reality, and this is magnifying 1,000-fold. So now is the time. And really anchor in the feeling of hope, the feeling of yes, we're doing this, even if it looks like this on the outside. I'm making these changes internally here and affecting the hologram on such a profound level. So I just wanted to offer those themes into the mix. I'm going to do another eclipse video on the solar eclipse. But just to give you a little sneak peek, it's occurring in the 29th gene key of devotion. And if you saw the video that Richard and I put out from our walk along the harbor in Victoria, BC, when we were up there for the retreat, you'll remember we talked about the 99% and the 1% versus the 100%. This is what commitment and devotion is all about. So this solar eclipse is fully bringing us into, we got to be 100%. Any of that lingering 1% of pessimism, or my energy, my life force is just over here. We got to come all the way in if we're going to make this change. And we truly are here to make this change. So, thanks for just being so you and continuing to say yes. And another key here is listening. So listen to your inner compass. Listen deeply. Like, how can you get even more adept at your quality of listening? What is needed? Discernment, right? To bring it up into the gift. Discernment. Discerning the choices that you're making. Really tuning in to the heart and what's being said here. And that this is all bringing us back together as a humanity. This is the fellowship of man. This is the council fire. This is us listening to each other. This is the healing between our hearts and the empathy. Get in there. Read that city. Focus on that city. Focus on virtue and empathy. And these two will carry us through this little window right here. So much love to you, and we'll be tuning in soon.